Hey there, Papa's Posse. Don't forget about that QR code. Take you to my eBay, YouTube, and Instagram page. Welcome back to the channel, Papa's Posse. Once again, it's time for Papa's Comic Books, Coffee, and more. Today we have Marvel Comics Group, The Defenders Overmind, number 112, 60 cents, back in 1982. Title of the story is Strange Visitor from Another Planet. Now, before we begin, don't forget this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave me a comment, tell me what you want to hear, okay? Let's get to it. Excuse me, and here we go. Strange Visitor from Another Planet. It's one of those perfect June evenings that hang tenuously between spring and summer. The sky is clear and studded with stars, the air warm but refreshing. All in all, it's a splendid night for a party. And here, in this three-story brownstone on Manhattan's Upper West Side, that is just what's in progress. Good friends, good food. What more could a blue-furred mutant ex-Avenger ask for? I sure am glad I decided to throw this little soiree. Careful of that chandelier, Mr. Beast. I'd hate to see such a lovely piece broken. Not to worry, Isaac. I'm as careful as I am agile. And please call me Hank. Mr. Beast sounds like the name of the hairdresser at the Central Park Zoo. Isaac Christians can't help but smile. The old man trapped in a gargoyle's body has only known Henry McCoy for a short time, but he's already come to look upon the Beast as part of the Defenders family. And an interesting family it is. I'm pleased that I remained after our clash with Nebulon, Valkyrie. It does my heart good to be with the Defenders again. Aye, Surfer, and there be joy plenty in seeing thee again. Not to be rude, Miss Valkyrie, but I can't help noticing how you've changed since you came back from the Asgard. Having reunited with my original immortal form, I stand at last to the true Brunhild, not the fractured semi-mortal personality thou didst know. Do these changes disturb you, Isaac? The upcoming Avengers. Disturb me? No, it's just that, well, with all that Asgardian double talk, I can't understand half the things you're saying. And as the Norse goddess throws back her head and roars with laughter, the Silver Surfer turns his attention to a pair of other non-Defender guests. I'm so happy Hank invited us for dinner. I've missed him since we left the Avengers. Haven't you, Vision? To be near two so deep in love makes me feel complete as well. I have felt a sense of loss, Wanda, but with you beside me, I always complete. That's the Vision and the Scarlet Witch for you, Surfer. One of those great love stories of the 20th century. Oops, hot stuff. Vision, look. I guess even the Beast can have too much of the bubbly. I can alter my body density to allow the coffee to pass harmlessly through, Mr. Beast. And as the evening wears on and the spirits rise, I'm not one for speeches, but I think it's high time somebody made a toast, so here goes. I'd like to welcome our Mr. Beast, Hank, to our home. I know his living here will enrich all of our lives. I'd also like to welcome Miss Valkyrie back, funny talk or no. She's one of us, and we're proud to have her. Finally, I'd like to offer thanks to Kyle Richmond, Nighthawk, who bought us this fine place. May he find in death the peace that eluded him in life. Well said, Isaac. Well said. 'Tis a shame Patsy and Stephen cannot be here with us tonight to share in the bittersweet moment our housekeeper Dolly hath told us of Patsy's journeyings. But where, pray tell, be Dr. Strange? Dr. Strange? Jumping fireballs, we've been so crazy with all the Nebulon Avengers nonsense that I completely forgot about the Doctor. He went off looking for Mr. Hellstrom, the Hulk, and Prince Namar, and we still haven't heard from him. Cool your jets, Isaac. Doc said he'd contact us if he needed help. No contact, ergo, no help needed. Yet the concern in your voice speaks other. Wise beast. 1 point for the synthesized, maybe we'd better. Way ahead of you, Hank. I just called the doctor's sanctum, and he hasn't shown up there yet. His manservant, Wang, sounded mighty upset, too. Now we must search, my friends, scour this world until we locate Stephen Strange, for he would do no less for us. If I remember correctly, Dr. Strange said he was embarking on an interdimensional journey. I'm no expert on these things, but wouldn't that make him rather hard to find? You can say that again, Vera. Very hard. Perhaps not so hard as your young lady believes, Hank. In my occult studies, I have unearthed several rare texts of dimensional travel. Let me return home and retrieve them, so that will not be necessary, Wanda. The voice is shivery distant, like an echo from the grave, and the spectral image that ripples into being overhead is no less chilling. Your thoughts, united in worry, have aided me in my attempts to reach you. There is evil afoot, my fellow defenders, and the world needs you. Stephen, Doc, oh my heavens. I can tell you little now. The strain of astrally projecting across the dimensions is too great. Across the dimensions, then does that threat to Earth originate on some other planet? You misunderstand, Morin Raid. I mentioned the great danger in the world, but did I not say? I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. How does he do that? Put aside all questions of how, Isaac, and ask instead, where are we? A question being pondered elsewhere is, what happened to them? Dolly people can't just disappear like that, can they? With the defenders, Vera, anything's possible. Meanwhile, dimensions away. If you'll all relax, I'm sure Dr. Strange will explain everything just as soon as his astral body returns his corporal one. You see, he was adding his necromantic energies to this teleporting device to bring you here. And the drain was, Dr. Banner, Bruce, 'tis a pleasure to see thee again. Have you been freed from the curse which transforms thee to the Hulk? No, Valkyrie, this is just one of my quieter moments. And, hey, how come nobody's saying hello to me? You can get those shocked looks off your faces, group, and don't let the new improved duds fool you. It really is your old pal, Nighthawk, alive and well. Kyle, alive, Lord Odin's eye, thy voice, thy bearing, the unmistakable, but how can this be? Considering your recent return from the dead, Val, you shouldn't be too surprised. Valkyrie. Don't worry, Doctor. Banner, one probability-altering hex should be enough to slow your descent and guide you into the safe hands. What's happened to the Valkyrie? She seems different. Oh, you caught on, did you? Look, gang, I'd love to stop and make sense of the seemingly resurrection, and I will tell you what little I know later, but now we've got more important matters to run down, and just as soon as Doc's back together again, I am recovered, Kyle, although I fear my union with the unstable teleporter may have drained my full power for some time. Okay, so to the gangs all here, what's the scoop already? The scoop, Beast, awaits us in the adjourning chamber. Yeah, step right this way, folks. The show is about to begin. Namor, Damon, then Stephen found ye all, but who lies there still upon on the bed? Can't be. Hyperion? Villain, what vile plot to ensure the defenders hath been hatched by thee and thy fellows in the squadron sinister? Valkyrie, no. A moment, goddess, pause, reflect, this is not the Hyperion you know. Speak ye in riddles, vision. No, don't you see? We must be on the home world of the Squadron Supreme. The Squadron Supreme, wow. Now that's a name I've never thought I'd hear again. Listen up, neophytes. This means we're on a parallel Earth where Hyperion and his buddies are the world's answer to the Avengers. A while back, excuse me, their president, Nelson Rockefeller, believe it or not, got hooked up with an ancient entity within the maleficent serpent crown. And he sent us patriotic pals in the squadron out to do some dirty work for him and his corporate cohorts on our world. The squadron gave the Avengers a real run for their money before we finally trounced them and taught them a lesson in political realities that they'll never forget. No time to talk about the past. No time. Please, Hyperion, you're feverish, weak. Lie back down, Hyperion. There is no need for... Get your hands off me fools. I am Hyperion, born on an alien world, come to serve Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Doctor, clearly it is time for the mysteries to be resolved. We must know what it is we're facing here. And indeed you shall know, Kyle. Right. All the nasty facts are right here on the holotape surfer. But I'm warning you, you might just be sorry you asked. The cassette slips into place. There is a moment of silence, followed by the warning, the whirring and clicking and machinery and verge of collapse, that there is an on-screen blur, distorted sound of human voice crackling through half a dozen speakers. End is Energizer much time. If you are Crankshank and you are one of us, listen closely. If you're not, you're one of them. Then Earth's late hope is lost. Stop to consider those ominous words as we turn our attention thousands of miles above the surface of the other Earth, where a strange energy could drift, cloud drifts, slowly, almost with a sense of will and purpose. The scintillant cloud begins to coalesce, to take on a more definite form, the form of a woman named Mindy. Stop again as we take one more detour across the mirror world to a Washington, D.C. alley where a lone man runs from his pursuers. Runs, then hides, then strikes back. His name is August Masters, and he has just stepped headlong into an American nightmare, the tape. It seems like just yesterday that I began my career. Here on Earth, I vowed to protect my adopted home world, and especially the great nation that gave me a second home, from all dangers, great and small. And with the Squadron Supreme beside me, I did just that, and more. We proved ourselves the world's greatest superheroes, or so we thought. Then President Rockefeller played us for fools, and we realized how far from the perfect we were. But we learned our lesson, and so did America. Rockefeller resigned, and we elected a new president. As Nighthawk, Kyle Richmond had been one of the squadron's founders, my dearest friend, but he later left the squadron to devote himself to his financial empire. Then came an offer to join President Rockefeller's cabinet. And then, it was an American Camelot of sorts. When Kyle was elected president, he had the hard business sense our people had come to respect, and it was balanced by a good heart. Yes, we had our Camelot for a while, but the walls came tumbling down. When the Overmind arrived on our shores, he said he was the sole survivor of an alien race, a plight I could sympathize with. President Richmond greeted him with open arms. A little too open in retrospect. Shortly after that, the president went on television to announce that the FBI and CIA had uncovered a foreign conspiracy to overthrow our government from within. Martial law was invoked. The National Guard began rounding up spies and subversives. And according to the president's secret information, there were thousands of them everywhere. Opposition in the Congress died abruptly as a worm of fear began to slither across America. And so, 22,300 miles above the land of the free and the abiding headquarters, we dubbed Rocket Central. The membership of the Squadron Supreme gathered and wondered where we were all there, founding fathers and new arrivals. Lady Lark, Power Princess, Nuke, Arcana, Captain Hawk, Amphibian, the Golden Archer, Tom Thumb, the Wizard, Dr. Spectrum, and of course, me. Then, when the wine of the teleporter circuits are exported, guests are arrived. President Richmond and the Overmind had been inseparable since the first meeting. The alien had become some kind of thuggish intergalactic bodyguard. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you asked me here. It's been too long since we've had an opportunity to chat. Kyle seemed the archetypal politician that day, cool, controlled, smile securely in place. Mr. President, we didn't call you here to chat. We have questions, sir. Many questions, starting with, what in heaven are you doing? Doing, old friend? I'm trying to save our nation from foreign invaders. How? By throwing innocent men and women into prison, by turning the United States into a police state? Nuke was our newest addition, young, volatile. It was clear that the Overmind had taken an instant dislike to him. All right, young man, just hold it. This is our president you're speaking to. He deserves your respect. Luckily, Lady Lark cut our teenage hothead off at the pass. It's not that we disbelieve you, sir. It's just that we think it's time the American people saw documented proof to allay their suspicions. Of course, dear. But you see, there is no proof, for there is no conspiracy. What? Let me explain, old friends. Eons ago, a savage race called the Eternals tried to conquer a universe and failed. Faced with obliteration at their enemies' handed, they fed the collected brain power of their entire race into one man and sent him out to ravage the cosmos in their name. That man was the Overmind, and he and I are one. Not the same race last seen in Thor. The Overmind has mentally absorbed all opposition, converted to them, to this cause, made them slaves to his will. So that was it. Kyle, along with the most powerful men in government, business, and military, had been taken over by the superbrain, and with the United States his. Could the rest of the world remain free for long? That maniac's twisted everything we've ever fought for. Then, what are we waiting for? Let's get him. Squadron. Mile High Comics. That's when we heard that mind molder speak for the first time. From beyond the stars shall come the Overmind, and he shall crush the universe. That's all he said, but it was enough. Crush this, Fuzzface. Nuke's blast are like miniature atom bombs, but Overmind just absorbed the energy, reshaped it, and threw it back in Nuke's face. That young fool always trying to make a grandstand play. You said it, Captain. When's he gonna learn that teamwork is always the answer? But teamwork did little good against the searing explosion of pure mental energy. Amphibian Captain Hawk and Tom Thumb went down like the three amateurs. Then we launched the second wave. The staggering sorcery of Arcana combined with the power prism of Dr. Spectrum to wrap the Overmind into a cocoon of unbelievable force. But he just shrugged it off, and then shrugged them off. Enough, you overbearing, arrogant obscenity. You face no ordinary woman now, no faint creature born of immortal flesh. You face the power princess, champion of utopia, isle of no man alive can be stopped. And then me, so much for rhetoric. And he clobbers her. Let's see. This was not our finest hour. Give it up, my friends. The Overmind has within him the power of his entire race, 1 billion beings. You cannot win. Shut up, Kyle. Just shut up. Lady Lark was angry, frustrated. Her sonic cry was enveloping the president before she even released it. No, what am I doing? That's not Kyle speaking. It's the devil controlling him. Right, bird lady. And it's time this devil was stopped. A super speed vortex should be enough to topple him. But, boom, he stops him. It was unbelievable. In 2 moves, the Overmind had taken out 3 more squatters. The moment of truth had arrived. It was up to me, and me alone, to stop the Overmind and free Kyle, and I knew I could do it, given the chance. But it was a chance I wasn't going to get. Argonite, the one substance in all the universe that could prove fatal to me. In agony, I collapsed and saw how totally the Overmind had taken control of my president, my friend. For Kyle Richmond simply stood there, smirking as the arrogant rays enveloped me, draining my life force away. Now, ironic that a radioactive fragment of the world that birthed me would also bury me, but my death now I realize would also signal the death, the end of Earth. And I couldn't let that happen. Mustering what little strength I had remaining, I slammed past the president and bolted for the squadron's teleporter. It had been badly damaged during our battle with Overmind, but I prayed that there was enough power left to get me the devil out of there. And there was. Materializing back on Earth, I prepared to alert the nation to the true danger. Perhaps they would doubt another, but not me. Over the years, the name Hyperion had come to be synonymous with truth and justice and the American way. There he is. There's that commie scum. Excuse me, citizen, but what in the world are you? The president, no, the creature controlling the president had anticipated my escape and planned accordingly. The story of my betrayal had been broadcast around the globe. But who, I wondered, who would believe such lies? I didn't wonder long. Get him, murderer, traitor! The hand was well played. In marking me as part of the fictitious conspiracy, the Overmind and Kyle had given an edgy, paranoid public an alien scapegoat on which to focus their fear and rage. Sad and confused and I turned my back on those who once idolized me. Flew north. I needed time alone to think, to plan, and it was for those very reasons that I constructed my tower of isolation, hidden away in the snow-swept Arctic. Only one other person on Earth knew its location. No, it's been bombed in rubble. My best friend, Kyle Richmond, and Kyle the Overmind had found a pawn privy to my most intimate secrets, the tower, my civilian identity. My every flaw and my weakness had been exposed. The stars could provide the solitude I needed, the precious time to plan that was growing more and more precious. But no sooner had I streaked heavenward than I found myself bathed in an eerie familiar glow. Again, I had been outwitted. For circling the Earth was the belt of recently launched satellites that washed the world in concentrated argonite. Rays in seconds, my bloodstream was saturated with radiation. My death was now inevitable. But now, could I die knowing I let my adopted homeworld down? While I still had some time remaining, I raced down toward the squadrons orbiting HQ, making certain that the Overmind and the others had gone. Then, working at super speed, I began to dismantle Rocket Central, and using its lead-lined walls to protect me from the deadly rays, I returned to Earth and hastily constructed the underground complex. Dazed in pain, I tried to phase across the Avengers Earth, but the damage to the teleporter had been too great. All I could do was send out an interdimensional SOS and wait. But while I waited and began, excuse me, transcribing this record of events, the world went mad. The squadron, now fully absorbed by the Overmind, stood beside President Richmond, vowing to help him stamp out the so-called enemies of democracy and frightened American people, fed convincing lies by their mind-controlled government, began to warm up to the idea. Soon those nations whose leaders couldn't be lured for the White House for psychic assimilation found themselves under an attack of the most powerful fighting forces on Earth. Backed by the U.S. military machine and the mental might of that alien monster, the Squadron Supreme conquered the world, and now planet Earth belongs to the Overmind. That's all she wrote, folks. On this Earth, the USSR is a second-rate power. No other nation ever developed the A-bomb. In short, it was easy picking all the way. Now I don't know what it was that saved me from that explosion back in Colorado and pulled me here to the Hyperion side, complete with a new set of duds. But the same something later grabbed hold of the Hellstrom. Namor, Hulk, and Doc dragged them here after me. Who or what did all of this mystery? But the fact is, we're here. There's a world that needs saving, and it looks like we're elected to do the job. Those who know the Kyle Richmond well are impressed by the new conviction in his voice, the sense of command and self-assurance. But then another voice, this one weaker, more frantic, makes itself heard. Wait, I don't understand. The danger is greater than you know. Hyperion, although I have used my healing powers to fight against the poisons in your blood, you are still in need of much rest. You must. I must tell you, my mind was so fogged by fever that I didn't remember, but now I do. The Overmind wasn't content with just taking one world. His plans are grander than that. Didn't have a chance to get this on tape, but the scanner should get a fix. A fix on what, Hyperion? The moon, Hellstrom. The moon. Uh-oh, the moon. Not the moon. There. Do you see? They're building an armada of spaceships capable of faster than light travel. What the other Overmind said to us is going to come true. From beyond the stars shall come the Overmind and shall crush the universe. Next, Moon Madness. Well, that was a long reading. I hope you enjoyed that long reading of Defenders and Overmind. Strange visitor from another planet. Once again, don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. And please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, okay? And as Papa and all the Defenders always say...
That was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.